Welcome back to the Brew Crew Podcast, everyone. This is day 8 of the Advent Christmas calendar, Christmas Advent holiday spectacular calendar.
Wow, that was a mouthful.
We're going to add some more words to that tomorrow. Today's beer is North High's Inherit the Stars. This is a hazy IPA. I believe it's an Imperial hazy IPA. It doesn't say that on the can, but it's 8%, which is kind of pretty standard, I guess. Well, for a hazy, yeah, it's pretty standard. So maybe it's not. Maybe it's not an Imperial. But this North High Brewing is out of Columbus, Ohio. Are you familiar? Have you had North High yet?
No,
I
don't think we have.
Experience here.
I don't think we have.
All right, so
but the recipes are really old. According to them, these recipes were last brewed 25 million years ago.
Ah, yes.
So there you go.
Are you familiar with Inherit the Stars?
No.
All right, I'll talk about it, but let's open the beer first so you can get a taste while I run my mouth for a while. Ready? Are you primed, as they say? You got your finger under the trigger there? I don't. This beer is not preloaded. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Excellent. He gets it. All right. Let me wet my whistle a little. Inherit the Stars.
Oh.
I've never read it, but it's a book.
Oh.
It's a book about the universe and its history. 25 million years. It's fiction. It's fiction. Science fiction about the history. So 25 million years ago. The only thing I know about this book is that at some point in the 2030s, so it starts 25 million years and it goes all the way to like now. But I don't know when the book was written. Maybe the 80s. I don't know. If it's a book about outer space, I assume it was written either in the 70s or 80s. It's just my assumption.
Yep, in the golden age of science fiction.
Star
70s,
Wars.
probably. 70s.
Probably the 70s. So sometime in the 2030s, the alien world makes contact with actual Earth. So keep your eye out for that in the next.
I will. Dying to know. Was it disastrous results for the Earth? Was it a conquest?
I honestly have no idea. But it's a book about space, and that is where the can art kind of takes you. And I didn't read any of that, but you read it. It sounds like you read. I
read part of it. I saw that this beer was 25 million years old. That's aged.
Yeah, you're not supposed to age these hazy IPAs.
not that long.
Matt and I did talk about this yesterday on the podcast. How who is it that he said did this? There's the born on date, but there's this one brewer. God, who did he say? They do the drink by date. Maybe Sierra Nevada or Stone. Maybe it's Stone, I think. Because he mentioned specifically that they were big enough to not worry about people or stores having to dump beer.
Yeah.
Because if they don't sell it and the drink by date's expired, well, but they're usually IPAs.
I think the first brewing company that ever came up with that idea, use by drink by date on a beer, was Samuel Adams.
Was it?
Yeah. And I thought it was a bunch of bullcrap from the very beginning because I thought it was just a marketing gimmick to get you to drink the beer so you can go buy more. I
think with beer you could make the argument that freshness matters. Now with canned goods, like not these cans, but the other cans that you buy in the grocery store, I believe that there's some studies that were done that said that those sell by dates are baloney.
Yeah.
Now baloney,
I remember.
You don't want to eat after it's sell by date or eat by date.
I thought bologna was one of those things that would outlast the cockroaches. After
not in the packaging I've seen. Maybe if it's canned.
Spam, maybe. I don't know.
So I'll talk about the can art when I review the beer, but I'll tell you a little story about North High while you get your rating down.
No, where is it located?
It's in Columbus. It's on High Street.
Okay.
Probably North High Street.
I would guess.
Yeah. And we went there. And by we, I mean the bowling team, which I believe we've had a few names, but then I think, what was our name? Something Pin. Pin was in it.
Pin.
Pin, like the pinholes or
That's
something
what
like
you
that.
remember, the pinhole. The pinheads.
Yeah, not like that's too easy. We couldn't be that simple of a name. It had some complexity to it. But at the end of every bowling season, and I know Matt told the story on his review, so I'm not going to go too in detail, but at the end of every bowling season, so what we do is we set a goal each week for ourselves, a personal goal. Typically an unachievable but not impossible goal. So like my average was around 160, so I'd say I want to get 600 pins for the night. That'd be 200 over in every game. I'll never achieve that. I think I did one time. Well, at the end, if you don't achieve your personal goal, you put $5 in the pot, and the pot carries through the whole season. At the end of the season, we do what's called a bowl-off, blow-off, where we take all that money and we just go get hammered, but somewhere far. So we went to Columbus, and I believe one of the first stops we made, other than breakfast, I think the breakfast was when we went to Cincinnati. When we went to Columbus, we went straight there. We stayed right in OSU territory. It was insane. And I'll let if you want to hear the story about the shakedown of the OHIO guy, listen to Matt's video. But we went to North High and we had what's called Wrestler's Court. Are you familiar with Wrestler's Court?
No.
Wrestler's Court's if something egregious happens in your group of friends, but not egregious enough to where it would break up your friendship or anything, you can bring it to Wrestler's Court, where you sit around and you make your case, and then the other person who was either wronged or wronged you pleads their case, and then your friends decide who's to blame, who's the guilty party, and it's trial by jury of your peers, literally. And I had we had a fantasy draft. We had a football fantasy draft, and I was aware that somebody else wanted Josh Gordon. But I had never made any promises about not taking Josh Gordon.
Right.
And I had my idea of where Josh Gordon was at the time, a few years ago when Josh Gordon was worth picking up. I had an idea of where he should go round-wise. And it got to me. He was available, and I took him. So just because you know that someone wants somebody in fantasy football, that does not make you an asshole when you take them.
Of course not.
Like
it's
if he came to me and said, it's the number one guy I want. Well, if you didn't take him in the first round, then he wasn't the number one guy you wanted.
If you didn't negotiate with everyone to ensure that they would take somebody else so that you could have him when it was your turn, then it's not anyone's fault but your own.
Right, it's your own. And I wound up losing because Josh Gordon probably had a terrible season that year. I don't remember. But regardless of it, I lost this Wrestler's Court. They said I was the asshole. They said I was the asshole. If you want Josh Gordon, take him in the first round. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because you're aware that I want Christian McCaffrey, but I don't have the first pick in the draft. So someone else is going, are they the asshole now? Are they the guilty party? Let's hold Wrestler's Court for everyone who took Christian McCaffrey over me in the past 5 years.
It's ridiculous.
Because I've never had him on my team.
It's ridiculous. It's football.
It's stupid.
It's every man for himself.
I should have won Wrestler's Court.
Yeah.
But we held Wrestler's Court at North High.
So what are the penalties that get ascribed to a person from the kangaroo court when when the person's found guilty?
The penalty is that you have faced the jury and you lose.
Oh.
And it's over. Okay. You and your friend can no longer discuss this topic. It's over now.
Okay, I like that.
That's really the point of it, is to get rid of this conversation.
I like it.
And so we did that, and I lost. I can't believe I lost. And technically I shouldn't have brought it up, but yeah, I gotta give context. That was also my first taste of a pickle beer. North High makes one.
Oh.
I'm not sure they distribute it though. It was on tap.
That is a beer that I'm currently drinking right now. In fact, I picked it up the very day that we were at Barrel House, and I saw it out of the corner of my eye. I think, and you might have brought it to my attention.
I probably
I thought it sounded like a great idea, so I got Christmas Dill. I think it's called
Christmas Pickle.
Christmas Pickle.
Urban Artifact, a Cincinnati brewer.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone's familiar with it. Everyone who probably watches this is familiar.
Yep.
All right. You get a good taste?
Yeah, I got a good taste.
All right. Do you want to go first? Or,
No, you go.
All right.
I want you to go.
This is Can Our Boner segment, and I'm going to explain what I put on Facebook earlier. Everyone, both Matt and Stev, said today, "Oh, it's got great can art, but I can't talk about the can art." Listen, guys, you can talk about the can art. Why wouldn't you talk about the? It's not. I don't own the can art. Okay, you're allowed to talk about the can, and I'm actually establishing from this point forth, if you are doing a solo podcast, talk about the can art.
I did.
And if you have thoughts about the can art, and I'm on the podcast with you, talk about the can art anyway. I'll join in. It'll be fun. So this is I haven't read the book. It's probably something similar to maybe what the cover looks like. Not sure about flying saucers. I have my own feelings about flying saucers. I just don't see the utility. I feel like man has engineered flying machines for a long time now, 100 years, and we have yet to make a circular one. Why is it that we think some alien race has engineered a circular saucer-like flight machine, spacecraft, when all of our science and engineering has never once pointed to this type of flying machine, this spacecraft? It doesn't make sense.
There was one. There was an experimental one that the Nazis did.
Oh, I did hear about that.
However, it never got off the ground, I don't think.
Yeah. So I don't believe in flying saucers. I think that's just it's far-fetched. Now, I do believe there are UFOs. Are they unidentified? They're just unidentified. That's what I believe. I don't know. Are they explainable? Who knows? But this is a space can, and it's kind of like Deep Space. It's got a lot of red from the stardust that's surrounding this alien. Anyway, enough of the can art.
Is the hair
I don't know if
disintegrating or
that?
on
Yeah,
fire
that was
or
something. His head's completely off of his neck.
Yeah,
he or she or it.
There's a crack or some kind of a jagged break in the neck, and it looks like the hair is flying or falling out, and the body is disintegrating below the waist. Although it might just be alien physiology.
That's great descriptive.
We just don't know.
Right, we don't know anything about what's going on here. Maybe this is just more of a, spiritual aura.
Someone might have been dropping acid when they made this can art too. I mean, that's a possibility.
It's true. It could be. So, Inherit the Stars. It's got the red and black can here, which could be reminiscent of Ohio State, depending on who you ask. But Stardust can be red too.
Oh, yeah, Stardust can be
purple, red, yellow, all colors.
Good point.
So that's the can art segment. North High, 8%. Hazy IPA. It definitely tastes like a hazy IPA.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have that powerful IPA punch, which is where your standard IPAs start and your West Coast IPAs finish. Yeah. Just boom, punch you right in the face with hops. This doesn't do it. A lot smoother, easier to drink. This has a little bit of dryness that a lot of hazies don't claim to be. That I think that's why you hear a lot of people describe hazies as juicy. This one does not have as much of that juiciness. It's a little drier, it's not dank, but it's got a bitterness to it. So not your light, totally smooth, fruity kind of. It's not any of those. I'd say it's probably more earthy, dry, but also less hop punch. So it stands true to the haze. I think this beer is probably around 3.5. I think it's good, but I don't know that it stands out in a crowd of hazies that are just, gosh, they're everywhere. I don't think this one would rise to the top. So 3.5. Good beer.
I like this beer. I like this beer a lot. By the way, I wanted to point out to all the listeners and viewers out there that John has color coordinated.
I did color coordinate today.
He was. He didn't even know, or did you?
I didn't. Or did you? I didn't.
Anyway, I really enjoyed this. This was really good. I really only started drinking hazies. I've been drinking them for a few years now, actually, but I've drank a lot more of them since being in the presence of JT. I will say this: it is not quite characteristic of a hazy, is it?
It doesn't have the characteristics that we've come to know and love.
Right, and not quite there, but I'm kind of liking that because of that. It makes it a little distinctive. It, I love IPAs, and it has all the really great attributes of an IPA, I think. And I said the other night that I really love the West Coast style, but I like all the IPA styles. I like the New England style. I like the English style, bitters and IPAs there. I like this one a lot. This one is good. The alcohol content is a little bit higher than average for an IPA, but there's a smoothness and a balance to this that I really like.
It's balanced. I agree.
I'm going to give this a 4.0.
Nice score.
I would drink this again. I wouldn't drive for it, but I would drink.
Yeah,
I would drink it.
That's it. Yeah, I wouldn't drive for it either. I did think while you were talking and making your points, you know what this reminds me of, taste wise?
What's that?
The light IPAs that we've been having.
Oh yeah,
like
that's a great point.
Not half-hearted. I think it's light-hearted ale. I always call it half-hearted. I don't know why. Because of Hoof-Hearted, which is a brewery here in Ohio, and I think it play on Hoof-Hearted.
I like that.
It's a real brewery name, and they're a successful brewery. So shout out to them. Outshout to them. This reminds me of the Dogfish Head version.
Dogfish, I love that.
The Slightly Mighty.
Yeah, I like that.
Because it doesn't have a lot of impact, but it's got a little IPA flavor.
It's got a full flavor.
It doesn't have the haze. It doesn't have that juiciness, I guess, that wetness of a haze. Hazy. Yeah, not bad. 3.5, 4.0.
Love it.
Anything else?
Scott and John.
Scott and John.
Day 8, 1/3 of the way through our adventure here.
That's true. 1/3 of the way through. I think Matt said that, or maybe you said that this morning. I can't remember. Long day.
It was a long day.
It was a long day today.
It was a very long day.
But we got it. That's it. That's day 8. We're done here. See ya.
Fellow Chuggalos, happy Advent. We'll see you tomorrow.
Happy Advent. That's something people say.
Yeah. What else are you going to say?